rich and full, powerful sound. It's still such chimey trebles. Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. What do we have here? We have, well, for those of you uninitiated, we have a guitar very clearly in the style of Andrea Tacchi's Coclea Thucea guitar. This one is made by a pupil of his, Jialan Chen, a Chinese luthier who's been doing amazing work. And actually, if you check the channel, you'll see that I've reviewed another Coclea Thucea model guitar that Jialan Chen made last year. This is his latest and greatest from the year 2025. Now, of course, there's lots to talk about with this guitar. There's a lot of subject matter. But the first question that you might ask is like, why create like this kind of like model of another maker who's still living, actually. Of course, plenty of people make Torres model guitars or Simplicio copies, things like that. But if you haven't played an Andrea Tacchi guitar or a Coclea Thucea of his, then you may not quite understand. But once you have, you will understand, because they are incredible guitars, and it's no wonder why people want to make models of theirs and help use this design with, of course, adding some of their own signature things, because they are quite powerful traditional guitars that are also so easy to play, and then aesthetically just so wild, very gorgeous to most people. Of course, some people may not be a fan of the colors and the two different soundboard woods, but there are explanations for everything. So we'll get to that. Stay tuned. Let's start by talking about the top of this guitar. The most obvious thing, right? You've got spruce down the center and then two pieces of cedar on the outside. Now, Andrea Tacchi talks about this idea stemming from when he was inspecting the very last Antonio de Torres guitar, which on the outsides had a different density wood than on the insides. And it was actually, I believe, a 4-piece spruce top in that example, which inspired the idea to use some different woods on the outside from the inside, of course, bringing a different sound as well. As you can imagine, this is not so easy to do. He talks about how many hours this takes to make, and I'm sure with Jialan Chen, this took a very long time as well, but it's got to be so symmetrical. The seams between these pieces of wood is just so perfect and looks great, but the sound is all there as well. We'll get more into that shortly. Looking at the rosette of this guitar, it is a work of art. And if you just hung this guitar on the wall and never played it, it would already be this guitar's worth. I mean, it's amazingly beautiful. Of course, it'd be a real shame because of how this thing plays and sounds. But just take a look at the intricacy of this rosette. You've got, of course, a model of one of Andrea Tacchi's rosettes that is just so incredible. You can still see little hints of tradition, though. You see some wheat motifs going around the outside, of course, used by luthiers like Arias and Torres. And then, of course, lots of original things here. Little patterns of mosaics, but then what looks to be gold, and then this little ball of red marble, and then blue marble. I mean, really incredible looking. I quite like it. I would be honest with you if I didn't. It is a little out there, but the sound justifies it. You'll see on the label here, it says Jialan Chen Luthier, Coclea Thucea Fibonacci. That is like what this one is modeled after. And it says homage to Andrea Tacchi, of course, in the year 2025. Very simple label. I quite like it. Okay, looking down at the bridge, just take a look at this. It looks like little patterns of triangles and rectangles kind of got stuck in a sea of gold. that's what it looks like to me. You also have this different piece of wood here surrounding the saddle of the guitar. A very nice low saddle and a very dark piece of wood here for the bridge. Perhaps it's ebony or something stained. You'll notice a raised fingerboard. Just one of the things that makes, adds a modern touch that in not a way that's double top or lattice to these guitars. You've got a raised fingerboard, makes it very easy to access the upper frets. And on the back and sides, you will see wenge, which is really beautiful and apparently a very hard wood to work with. The neck is a C-shaped, not super thin, not super thick, very comfortable to play, very, very low action. The head, of course, another Tacchi homage here, and with very high quality Barnett tuners with black rollers. Looks like dark mother of pearl buttons, and some very nice engravings here. It's a piece of art wherever you look on this guitar. Well, okay, we should definitely get into the sound of this guitar and some of the playability. Let's start with some chords. A very fat sound, I would say. That airs on the side of a traditional guitar sound, but really rewards a heavy right hand, you know, when you... At the same time, sometimes it can be said about guitars that really reward a heavy touch in the right hand that when you play quietly, it's not as rewarding. It's a gentle giant here. It shows its sensitive side very, very well. It makes me want to play something like El Noy de la Mare by Llobet. And you know, the abundance of sustain in chords like that really help you feel secure when playing this guitar. And you know, I'd say that's an overall feeling I get on this instrument. You know, I can't lie that on many of today's modern guitars, whether it's lattice or double top, they really push you to play in a certain way, maybe with less of a heavy touch. Maybe you have to avoid playing a certain area to make it not be too mid-rangey, these types of things. On this type of guitar, on this style of guitar, being a traditional guitar but with many, many modern features, you really don't have those limitations. And if you want to play Spanish music, it works equally as well as wanting to play something Bach. Yeah? Very, very clear, right? So you get that sultry, beautiful, creamy, warm sound, but also this which is very appealing. Now, some people might say, well, it's because you're getting that spruce here and that cedar on the outside. Gosh, I don't know if that's actually true. Maybe it is. Maybe you are getting that beautiful blend of spruce and cedar. But gosh, something is coming together very well, besides the fact of it being spruce and cedar. Everything's very cohesive, unlike my language today. Let's try Prelude 11 by Tárrega. nice. Well, we're going to try a couple of other things on this guitar, but I wanted to tell you, you should definitely check this one out at guitarcollection.com. You'll see a full album of photos, a description for this guitar, as well as a place where you can enter in your email address to be notified about new instruments before they become publicly available. And wow, congratulations to Jialan Chen. What an amazing guitar. It's a work of art. If you're looking for something that's just truly a work of art that is going to wow everyone that sees this guitar, and also going to wow anyone that plays it, including yourself, then this just might be the right one for you. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.
Mm-hmm.